My 2010 E63 AMG with the legendary 6.2 liter M156 was broken for over 2 years. It had a strange misfire on bank 1 that for the longest time I could not figure out.
I cannot believe this. This is actually unbelievable. What is up with bank 1?
Eventually I narrowed it down to an out of tolerance cam bridge on that bank and was finally able to resolve the issue.
She's fixed.
During those 2 years, I didn't do any modifications or really do any cosmetics to the car at all because obviously it didn't make sense if the car was broken. But now that it's fixed, I'm diving in head first. The headlight lenses on this car are pretty beat up, so in the last video I got started by getting a test headlight to see how difficult it would be to remove the perma-sealed headlight lenses. Turned out to be quite a challenge.
Shoo!
In this video, I'm getting right to work with disassembly of that headlight to get it ready for some custom paint. Let's get into it. Yes, we are back on my 2010 E63 AMG, and for the first time in 2 years I can say that all of the mechanical issues on this thing are completely sorted out. No check engine lights, no warning lights, no misfires, nothing. I drive this thing every day. It's been absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, in the 2 years that it was broken, some of the cosmetics on this thing have started to get neglected, and that is what we're going to be tackling in the next 1 to possibly 3 videos, including some mods. Up first is these headlight lenses. These have actually bothered me since long before the car broke, basically as soon as I bought it. They have cracked, fogged over, yellowed, they have all those little micro stress fractures in them. A car of this caliber, of this mileage, it's only got 70,000 miles on it, really needs to look better than that, especially if we're gonna be doing a full-on paint correction. But unfortunately, these type of headlights are a little bit more than just crack them open, replace with some cheap lenses. As we discovered in a previous video where I took apart an extra headlight that I bought. But I got some more parts that just showed up today, so let's go over what the plan is and how we're gonna make this thing look mint. With potentially a little something different going on. I don't know yet. All right, so really quick, let's go over the problem. So here is the factory 2010-2011 E63 headlight. And I say E63 because the E63 is the only one that comes with this bezel in silver. So it gives it a little bit more of a darker, more aggressive look. Or I guess that was Mercedes' intention. Also, the E63s come, they're like the fully loaded headlight package. You can get a couple different variations of this package, but this one has got the active corner illumination, meaning the headlights turn when you go around a corner. So these headlights do a little dance when you start the car. They go up and down and left and right to kind of calibrate. Really, really advanced headlight, but you can see it's really bad on the passenger side. You basically can't even see the reflector in there anymore. This is so cracked. I mean, you can hear my fingernail going over it. So I've been wanting to fix this for a while, but as we discussed in the last video, these are perma-sealed. So what I did is I went on eBay and I bought one for $100 that had some damage just to do a little test to see if I could get it apart, which as I showed, I obviously could, but man, it is a struggle. This Permaseal stuff is no joke, especially compared to butyl. It took like 4 tries in the oven before this thing finally came apart, and the housing really took a beating. So I'll get into what's going on here a little bit more later. But basically, I didn't want to dig into these headlights without knowing what I was doing first. These are up to $600, $700, $800 a piece in mint condition. So I wasn't really comfortable just kind of cracking them open. So I figured I'd start with a broken one. And then I figured if I'm gonna do one broken one, I might as well do 2. And then I figured, hey, what if I could just build a whole nother set of headlights for this car? Maybe do some custom paint work, maybe some black instead of some gray. Have a one-off set of headlights for this car with brand new lenses. And if I don't like it, then we can always fall back on these. So I'll get into how I'm gonna do all that in a little bit. But before I do anything, here is the second headlight. So this is the driver's side headlight that just showed up today from eBay. I paid 200 bucks for this one. You can see it's sold as is, best for parts. Because obviously you can see this little ring has fallen off on the inside, which is obviously no big deal if we're gonna take this apart to maybe paint some stuff inside. Now what's important on both of these is that I made sure they both were the active cornering, or IFS, I forget what that acronym stands for in Mercedes speak. But I didn't really care if they were gray like the E63 because we were gonna be painting them anyways, but they had to have, you know, this thing, But before I waste any time, I kind of want to bolt one of these headlights in, or maybe both. I might have got a little ahead of myself over here. Bolt one of these headlights in and make sure that the car is not going to throw any errors. I don't want to take all this time painting and taking this stuff apart only to get it in the car and find out that they're not compatible for whatever weird Mercedes reason. And of course, to remove the headlights on a W212, you have to remove the entire front bumper. So that's where I'm gonna start. So let's get this thing up in the air, get the front bumper, which I painted in the driveway a few years ago. Not too shabby. Let's get that off, get it on the body stand, and see if we can get at least one of these headlights tested, maybe both. Felt so good. We buggered ourselves now. Help! Oh, I can't stop crying.
Hello, emergency. Help! I can't stop crying.
Dave Chappelle fans, anyone? Did you guys hear about Dave? Died crying like a... Ah, come on. Where's your wife when you need her? Yes. Free. Like the king of W212 headlights. No, I just got 4 of them. So here's mine. You can see all this yellowing. It's like I said, it's even worse on this side. Just a real eyesore. And here's the junk one I got on eBay. The lens is in much, much better shape. Off of a lesser model, because we know it wasn't an E63. Also, I found that, I think it's this one. I have a broken mounting tab. One that goes right here, so we'll have to JB weld or plastic weld that back on. But I wonder if I put my ballast on this one, or I think this one included the ballast. Yep. Or if we maybe we just put both of these in, see if everything works before we put in any more effort. Also, you guys know I geek out about this stuff. So this is my E63 headlight. This one was manufactured, looks like, I can't remember how the Europeans do dates. I'm gonna mess this up, but it was definitely 2009. We'll call it September 11th, 2009. And this my car is a 2010. This one was manufactured April 15th of 2010, so it's probably also a 2010 model year or very early 2011. So these were made very, very similar time frame. So obviously this one's kind of taken apart, but that's what we're looking for. All right, let's try key on and see what happens. Doing the thing. I saw them do something. I'll have to review the footage that you guys just saw to make sure they both... Yeah, this one looked like it was aimed higher, but that's probably because it's not even in here right. So I think we're good. I saw them both move. Man, am I getting old? Why am I kind of digging the all chrome headlight? Kind of pops, you know? The younger kid in me would want to take all these pieces. By the way, I guess I'm kind of filming this out of order. I obviously took this headlight completely apart. So these are all the pieces that we could paint black. And the young kid in me would want to paint all these gloss black and just completely black everything out. But I've found over the years that when you do that, the headlight just gets lost. It's like you lost the definition of the front of the car. So it's now, and you'll see a lot of OEMs will do this too. If you walk through the parking lot, a lot of cars will have a mix of chrome and black just to kind of give the headlight some definition. So now I need to figure out what we want to paint black, what we want to leave chrome. And then I'll probably at some point, whether it's in this video or another one, end up replacing these lenses too, just because you can't beat the OEM with the gray, you know, E63 specific. So, but I got some new parts on the way to hopefully build stuff without struggling with Permaseal, but it's coming from, you guessed it, China. So it's taken a couple days. Hopefully it's here in the next day or two. But in the meantime, while I wait, I think I'm going to attempt to separate this lens to get at the guts inside so that we can hopefully build two awesome headlights, and then maybe we can get some painting. So I'm gonna go, a lot of you guys commented on this last time. You're like, I can't believe your wife let you, do this right on the kitchen counter. We have an apartment / office in the garage above here. That's why my ceilings are only 14 inches tall. So we have a spare kitchen up there that I can basically do whatever I want. So I'm gonna use the oven up there, probably try and disassemble them right on the butcher block counter that I installed like 6 years ago. See if we can get these apart. Crank up the heat a little bit. What's the worst that could happen? Well, no big surprise here, but getting the headlights apart the second time was no easier than the first time. But 4 iterations in the oven at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 mangled lens later, I finally got the housing separated from the lens. Jeez. Mangled. Well, just like the first time, that was pretty terrible. I got it down to 3 iterations in the oven this time, cranked the heat up to 250, and it was still a major pain to separate the lens from the housing, but we got it done. Unfortunately, like I said, still got a screwdriver poked through there, but here's this Permaseal stuff. It is very tough. And we're basically probably less than halfway done. Getting the lens off is one thing. Then you have to spend an eternity getting all of this old Permaseal out of here. And I still have 2 more headlights to do. So after knocking that out this morning, I've reinforced to myself that I don't know if I'm going to use these housings. I ordered a new set of housings off of AliExpress or Alibaba, one of the Ali websites over there in China, like 3 weeks ago, and they still aren't here. The new lenses are here. I have 4 new lenses to make basically all brand new headlights here, but the bases aren't here yet. That's actually thanks to one of you guys. A viewer said, hey, you don't really have to fight with these housings if you don't want to, because you can just buy, new ones for relatively cheap, either on eBay or AliExpress or whatever. Which is great because this one has a giant hole in it. And to be honest, separating them and cleaning all this out and then trying to make this now mangled housing work sounds like a disaster. So the ones on AliExpress that I ordered 3 weeks ago were with shipping like $160 or $165. And then this morning ordered another set on eBay that is guaranteed to be here at the latest next week for I think $175. So I'm going to have 4 brand new housings and 4 brand new lenses here. And what we're going to do is swap all the guts over. So I'm basically going to take all these OEM Mercedes high quality Hella parts and we're going to swap them to Chinese housings and lenses to save ourselves the aggravation of trying to have to clean all this up and make this work. Which means when I go to take these lenses apart, which are completely junk, I'm probably just going to take a Dremel or a cutoff wheel or whatever and just cut them open, because really all that we care about is the guts inside, because I'm replacing everything else. Can you take them apart? Yes, I've just proven that twice. Could I spend hours cleaning out the channel, getting it nice and clean, putting butyl on there, and then putting on the aftermarket lens and hoping that it fits right and doesn't leak? Yeah. Is it worth it for me to just spend a few $100s to have a brand new one and then, we're done? That's it. Yeah. So unfortunately, that does mean I'm kind of dead in the water until the housings show up, sort of. I still need to decide what I'm going to do for paint, and I think what I'm going to do is basically replicate the E63 headlight, which is this piece here and this piece here, which is the equivalent of this piece here and this piece here, but instead of doing them in gray, I'm going to do them in gloss black, and then maybe we'll hit them with some clear coat. And then I've got this chrome finish out here because I noticed that these headlights came with this clear ring here, whereas the E63 one is chrome. So while we wait on parts from China, in addition to a full mini tub on my 69 Camaro, if you guys are following that, we can scuff, paint some stuff, see what we like, see what we don't like, and we can continue disassembly on these, get all the guts out, and maybe even cut these headlights open so that when the housings do show up, we're ready to go. Because unfortunately, my daily driver is now pretty much dead in the water, just waiting on parts. Well, I lied. Those headlight lenses that were supposed to be here, guaranteed within 1 week. It has been 2 weeks since we last spoke, and neither set of headlight lenses, or bases rather, are here. The ones from AliExpress are arriving in 3 days, and the ones from eBay are arriving in 2 days. So almost 5 weeks after I initially ordered a set, and 2 weeks after taking apart this car without having all the parts that I needed to put it back together, we're still down a daily driver. Been daily driving my truck with diesel at $6 a gallon, but whatever. The truck probably does better on fuel than this thing does anyways. Anyways, that means these headlight parts have had plenty of time to cure up. They came out pretty good for a rattle can job. I could probably give them a quick wet sanded buff if I wanted to be particular, but that doesn't really matter right now because we got nothing to put them in anyways. These headlight bezels that I tried to paint chrome came out like crap because the paint kept getting clogged. So I threw that can in the garbage, and now I'll probably just quickly sand these down and hit them with like some high gloss metallic silver or something. It'll look pretty good. I think this is going to look sharp. Anyways, the good news is some new parts did come in, so we're going to switch gears and focus on these now. This is another item that I've been looking at here on the mod list for my E63 that I've been wanting to do since well before it broke. And the parts are finally here. I pulled the trigger on them a few weeks ago. Figure let's knock those out while we're waiting on the headlight parts. So let's get these unboxed. Let's blast these winter wheels off for 2 reasons. One, they're not going to be compatible with these new parts. Hint, hint. And second of all, it's now early April, so it's time to get the summer setup going on this thing. But you got some news about those as well, so let's shuffle some stuff around. Piece of cake. Ow! Tomorrow I'm gonna be like, ooh, why does my foot hurt? Ooh. Oh, I wonder why. Alright, winter skins are off. These are the factory AMG 18-inch wheels. I don't know who owned this thing before me, but these things have hit everything but the lottery. Got some chrome peeling, corrosion, bubbling, you name it. They're really not a bad looking wheel, but these ones have had it. So that's why they're winter wheels. Don't feel like jacking up the rear right now. We'll get to those later. Right now we are concerned with the fronts. Got the summer wheels out of storage, and a little bit of an update on these two in particular right here. Some point last summer, actually I remember exactly when it was, sometime in July, I hit one of those, like they cut out a section of the road to do like, you know, repair a water main or whatever. I hit it going probably 40, 35 in this thing, and I swear it had to have been 3 inches missing out of the pavement. So from here, 3 inches up to here, slammed it in this thing. I thought the frame cracked on this thing. I hit it so hard. At that point, I probably should have gone and turned around and taken pictures to file an insurance claim with the city, but instead I kept going to pick my son up from daycare and was just waiting for the tire pressure light to come on. It never did. So I stopped thinking about it after that. Got on the highway, car didn't shake, no problems. Seemed like it drove well, so I kind of forgot about it. Until a couple weeks later, I was washing the car and noticed that both front wheels had massive flat spots in them. Don't know how I didn't notice it earlier, but You know, the car did have a little bit of a shake at highway speed, but nothing that would indicate as serious of a problem as the front wheels being totally flat spotted. Thankfully, the rears were fine. And this was a real bummer because I really like these wheels. They're very similar to the original 19-inch wheels that were offered on this car, but they're like OEM Plus, as I like to call it. They've got that timeless, really good-looking split 5-spoke design. And the best part is when I bought these, they were $150 a piece, so $600 for all 4 of these brand new. So just order 2 new wheels, right? No big deal. Wrong. They're discontinued. Couldn't find them anywhere. So I ended up having a local wheel repair shop fix these ones. They took the bend out of them, and then in doing that, obviously ruined the finish. They had to refinish these. They are repainted, re-cleared, and they look like they are a really, really good match. I can't even really tell the difference between them. These 2 are going to go on the back. These 2 are going to go on the front. Or I'm sorry, these 2 are the fronts. These 2 are the backs. I think they're a perfect match. So $500 later, $250 per wheel, which is more than I paid for them to begin with. We have both of our wheels back. So we'll get these cleaned up tomorrow, but I honestly think I might need to sell these or do something with them because the mods that we got planned for up here, these are no longer going to work. So let's get into those. Aw, yeah, baby. Big brake upgrade for the W212. So with a couple of mule kicks, got the front wheels off. These are the factory rotors. They're 2-piece rotors. These are 360 millimeters in diameter, I believe. My pads are in pretty good shape. The rotors aren't too bad, but all the vent holes are just full of rust. The car sat for a while it was broken, a year actually, and I've got a pretty decent ridge right here. I'm not sure if these are original or have been replaced once before. There's really nothing wrong with them, but these big brakes is one of those mods that I kind of had my eye on while the car was broken, and obviously wasn't going to do it while the car was broken, but the moment it was fixed, I was like, order brake parts. And here they are. So here's everything that I should need to upgrade to the factory Mercedes 390 millimeter massive front rotors. Look at these things, absolute train wheels here. So these are a full 30 millimeters larger than the factory front rotors. And there's a couple guys out there that make kits to adapt your factory 6-piston calipers. I got them from a guy on one of the W212 Facebook groups. I'll leave all of his information in the description so you guys can do these mods too. But these are a Porsche caliper bolt, so grade 10.9 hardware. These are billet machined spacers. So basically these are going to space the caliper out the proper amount so that the 390 millimeter caliper, or rotor rather, will be able to interface with the caliper properly. So this is basically the kit that he provides, and then everything else is factory. So this is the factory, I think these come on the McLaren GT, or the Mercedes GT, I should say, or some of the 6.3 cars, I'm not even really sure, but this is a factory Mercedes or Brembo part number, which he includes in all of his instructions here is, I think I went with this, the Brembo part number is what I search for, but any of these part numbers would work as well. Yeah, he's got great instructions here. Recommended brake pads, some instructions for bedding in and things like that. These rotors are normally like $600 each, but you guys know me, I shopped around. I think I found one of these from some individual seller that was selling it for like $300 brand new in the box, and then another one that was like $370 brand new in the box. So still pretty pricey, about $700 between these two. But when you consider, you know, if we went to the dealer or just, you know, bought them from most retailers, both of those front rotors would have been $1,200. Not too bad. Then of course I went with some ceramic pads from Power Stop. I think I got those on Rock Auto. Those come with new hardware, new pins, things like that. And then of course a new brake pad wear sensor. So this should be everything that we need to get these installed. Look at these things. They're gonna take up the whole wheel, which is another thing worth mentioning. That's why my factory wheels are not gonna work anymore. If you're gonna do these big brakes, you need a minimum of a 19-inch front wheel. These are 20s. So we're gonna have to figure something out for next winter, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's get these in. Boom. Look at these absolute units here. Shoo! Man, what a difference. Those things are absolutely massive. Kit was super easy to install, including fighting with frozen on rotors on both sides, especially that side. Probably 30 minutes per side. Obviously the second side went faster once you got your process down. Got everything torqued down with green thread locker on these bolts, blue thread locker on this bolt. All new hardware, new pads, everything plopped right into place. Spacers fit absolutely perfect. The Porsche caliper bolts worked absolutely perfect. No complaints. Super easy install. If you guys are looking to do front brake upgrade, we obviously haven't tested them yet, but if you're looking to do that upgrade, highly recommend it. Again, the information for the spacers and bolt kit, everything you need other than the rotors and the pads and anything else you want to do while you're there. And of course, 19-inch plus wheels if you don't already have them. Easy. And you know, I had to just loosely hang a wheel on there just to see how it's going to look, and shoo! That is hot. You can see why you're going to need a 19-inch wheel. These are 20s, and there ain't even that much clearance there. So, yeah, awesome. So, 390 millimeter brake upgrade. Check, that's done. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I ironically just got a notification that one of the set of headlight lenses, actually the set that I ordered later, is showing up today. But I think we made some good progress in this video. In the next one, we are going to not only get these headlights, probably actually 2 sets of headlights built. We'll decide which ones we want to put in my E63, and then we're going to do a complete paint correction on this thing, ceramic coat. Got a little bit of a mod for the inside, and we'll get all the wheels bolted up, and this thing is going to be 100% mint, mechanically, cosmetically, and it's going to be ready for summer, daily driving, cruising, you name it, it's going to be ready for it, and I'm psyched. This thing has not looked good, per se, in over 2 years, so I'm ready to come out swinging in spring 2026. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. Be sure to check out merch on the website if you want sweatshirts, tanks if it's getting hot where you are, t-shirts are in stock, all that stuff. I will catch you in the next one.